Shalom. It's your brother Yara, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash, for giving me the spirit to send this message. And I have also want to salute all the brothers out there, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, or Native Americans, who are the true Israelites, the one-third elect whom the Lord will have mercy on in these latter days. Shalom to all of you brothers. I have a video, an article here rather, going in, pointing yet more confirmation of the prophecies that are coming to pass. And it's crazy because this Space Force, they this past Wednesday, it looks like they just dropped their first recruitment video. And brothers have known about the Space Force being a thing, you know, for a while now. I think Trump announced it like maybe a couple of years ago. And as things start to heat up in Babylon and across the world, you're starting to see more of these things just be confirmed through the Spirit. And this title here is Space Force drops first recruitment video. And I haven't watched the video. Maybe I'll play it. But it says maybe your purpose on this planet isn't on this planet. And those of you brothers who are in the know, you know that Esau knows the prophecies that are to come to pass, and he's willingly going to fight against the Most High, with futility, of course, knowing he's not going to win. And as you say here, it says, this is Obadiah 1:1, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God, Yahweh, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. Yahweh, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, we have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, because he is very, very prideful to know that the prophecies are going to come to pass, and you still have the gall to try to set up these conventional military weapons to fight against the Most High. I mean, that is psychopathy, you know, at its finest form. It says, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Well, the Most High is going to bring you down to the ground through his son Yahweh Shai. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, hence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So this is basically Obadiah, his prophecy coming to pass here with the Space Force, because here they are setting their nest among the stars, and they've already had a nest up there with the ISS, but this is just further them doubling down on that net, trying to weaponize it, which they probably already have. They're just doing it officially and wanting the public to back this. And it says the United States Space Force released its first recruitment video Wednesday. The 30-second clip encourages potential recruits to ponder if the purpose on this planet isn't on this planet. Some people look to the stars and ask, what if? My narrator is heard over footage of a man looking up at the sky. Our job is to have an answer. The video then shows a montage of military personnel working within the new military branch, interposed with images of space, and they're going to get a lot of Edomites, a lot of heathen, a lot of Jakes are going to fall for this. You know, there's people who are enamored with Star Trek and Star Wars, which, you know, I watch it, but, you know, like, y'all have this vain imagination that, you know, all of what Esau tells you out there in the heavens are real, when really he doesn't really know he doesn't understand what's going on out there in the heavens. You know, a lot of that stuff out there is a mystery. But, you know, the curious minds are going to go out there with the hopes of, you know, discovering something, maybe an alien. But you're going to find out that these chariots that are UFOs are sent by the Most High. It says, may your purpose on this planet, maybe your purpose on this planet isn't on this planet. And, you know, that's evidence there. That's more of the slogan there, I mean. Salakia says the tweet featuring the video includes a link to available jobs on the Air Force's website. including a space operations officer, a fusion analyst, and intelligence officer. And they're going to try to gather a lot of intelligence. They're going to try to greet, so to speak, Yahweh Shai as he comes through the heavens with his angelic force. But, as we all know, that's going to be pretty futile, And I'll get Revelation 6 kind of goes into it a bit. It says, Revelation 6:1, and I saw the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of the thunder, one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and that is Yahweh Shai on that white horse, which is a giant chariot that our forefathers, Esdras the prophet, wrote about. And I'll get that in a second. And he sat that on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. So he's back, to set the planet Earth on this right course, to the order of his people, the Israelites, through the house of David. And so I'll skip down. It goes more into that. This chapter jumps a lot, and it goes into the dark sayings of the different various four beasts. But this is the main point here. Verse 15, it says, "And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb." So they're basically going to try to hide once they see what it is, that he can't, his, as they say in Dragon Ball Z, his power level's over 9,000. They're gonna realize that this is over with. It says, "For the day of his great wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?" And the answer to that is quite clear. It's nobody. Nobody's going to be able to stand the power of Yahweh Shai in that day. I'll go back to this. It says, even before the video was posted, officials said they're receiving lots of interest. So a lot of people are gonna be emboldened in that day, but then they're gonna get scared once they see why they were summoned to start and to come into this Space Force. Because Esau is not telling these everyday people, the prophecies of Revelation and Esdras. Like he's just gonna dupe them into joining. And it says, in Esdras that they're gonna be so afraid, but they're gonna fight anyway. Because they're already in it. He's gonna have them scrambled in those fighter jets and all these other various aircraft he's gonna try to come with. And it says the Secretary of the Air Force, Barbara Barrett, said during a live stream presented by the Space Foundation Wednesday that there's been an avalanche of applications, and they're going to regret that for sure. According to CNET, the recruitment video was officially released during the live stream. As of Wednesday, there are 88 commissioned space professionals working within the Space Force, and the number is expected to grow substantially by the end of 2020. So things are moving very, very quickly, brothers. According to a press release from the Space Force, the service's total force is projected to eventually be approximately 16,000 strong. The Space Force is the sixth and newest branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. In June 2018, President Trump directed the Pentagon to create a branch of the U.S. military in space, and the Space Force was made officially in December 2019 when Congress passed a $738 billion military bill. Yikes. The Space Force organizes, trains, and equips space forces in order to protect U.S. and allied interests in space and to provide space capabilities to the joint force. According to its website, it was established within the Air Force, with the Secretary of the Air Force holding overall responsibility under the direction of the Secretary of Defense. Four-star General John Raymond currently serves as a senior military member of the Space Force, according to the site. The recruitment video dropped just one day after Netflix released the new teaser trailer for its upcoming comedy series Space Force, starring Steve Carell. So there, the whole media propaganda campaign is in full force, which I'll probably catch the show on Netflix. They say it's a comedy with Steve Carell, coming out probably in a couple weeks. The show revolves around Carell's character, a fictitious four-star general who is tasked with starting up the military branch. The show will hit Netflix on May 29th, So let's get Second Ezra 13, which this goes into basically what's going to be the conclusion of them starting this whole Space Force and trying to pad up their military to go against, Yahweh Shai and the angels. This is Second Ezra 13. It says, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it removed all the waves thereof." Imagine just you seeing, the ocean has just become still, And it says, "And beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven." This is Yahweh Shai coming through with his crew, And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And this is going to be him basically in a giant chariot, a so-called UFO, coming during the Battle of Armageddon, when all hell's breaking loose on Earth. He's going to show up and completely stop everything in its tracks, And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So everybody is going to turn and stop what they're doing to try and fight Yahweh Shai and the angels, as it was alluded to in Revelation 6 chapter. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up on it. But I would have seen the region or the place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. So this looks like a giant mountain that Ezra literally couldn't see the end of the beginning of it. It was so big in his perspective that it just looked like a mountain, basically. It's a giant chariot that he sits on. And, I can't, you can picture like the scenes of Independence Day, but it's going to be far more like you really can't really imagine it, just actually seeing it. It's going to be way greater than that. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And that's going to be these young prospective military guys. Like, oh, it's cool to join the Space Force, maybe we'll discover aliens. Like, not knowing Esau is setting them up for what he knows is going to come to pass in these prophecies. And it's beautiful seeing all this come together, just as the Most High said it would through the men of the Lord, the prophets throughout the years, and the brothers preaching and teaching on the highways and byways going into it, like the water for those brothers call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for this word getting pushed out, so that the elect, can be saved and be sealed in these latter days. So this very thing can come to pass, because we need to get out of here. Otherwise, the earth is going to be completely and totally destroyed, Verse 9, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest." So Ezra's just seeing this in the vision, Imagine, just seeing that. And this is a dark saying that gets explained, but basically Yahweh Shai and his angels, along with us, who's going to give us the power, spiritual power to go over and subdue all these nations, in the valley of Jehoshaphat, that are going to come against the Most High. This is us taking back the kingdom. To make a long story short, and it says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with the violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived. I mean, we completely and utterly destroy all of those nations. It's not going to be a question and who's in charge and who the chosen are. All the atheists that don't believe in God, they're gonna straight up faint. A lot of them are gonna try to kill themselves. Like, when they see all of this start to come to pass, it's gonna get real. But only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So Ezra's is seeing this and saying that he was afraid. And the prophets, man, they were not these like frail dudes. A lot of those prophets were warriors at heart, and and they were not easily faint, of heart. So you just imagine what he was actually seeing. And the rest of this chapter basically, is Ezra just asking for interpretation of the dream. But basically, this is what we're seeing coming to pass now, which is Yahushua on his way back in those chariots, and the Space Force is definitely a sign that that thing is about to come to pass. So hopefully you brothers were edified. Shalom to all the brothers out there preaching and teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to you brothers. Hopefully you're edified. Shalom.